A mysterious new girl bends reality to punish the past. Now, one woman must fight a world that no longer believes her. Maria and Kay are at home when things begin. Maria is sampling food items for a work focus group, while Kay stands nearby in the kitchen, removing a cap that reads, Barney's. On Monday, Maria arrives at her workplace, Bete. Inside, her co-workers Nick and Louisa are arguing. Nick drank her vegan milk. Yudi pulls Maria aside to try a new chocolate bar she made in the test kitchen. Maria observes that it looks like a nut-free Hucklebuck and jokes she's glad it won't trigger her nut allergy. Later, a focus group gathers around a table, being observed through a one-way mirror by Maria, Nick, Louisa, and Yudi. A woman arrives late, catching Maria's attention. She introduces herself as Verity Green, and Maria recognizes her from school. When Nick asks, Maria confirms it's her, although Verity looks very different now. The group is given the new chocolate to taste without knowing what it is. One man hates it, another enjoys it. Verity tries a second sample and says it's much better. The rest follow, and suddenly everyone seems to like it. In the bathroom afterwards, Verity greets Maria and asks if she's also part of the tasting session. Maria tells her she works in R&D. Verity, surprised, says she loved the chocolate and plans to apply for a research assistant role. Maria awkwardly tells her there aren't any openings, but Verity insists she saw one listed online. Verity recalls their school days, calling Maria popular and herself a geek. Maria leaves quickly and checks the company website. There is indeed a job opening. She goes to her boss Gabe, who confirms they're expanding, and also mentions the company likes her mallow concept, which he'll sample on Thursday. That night, Maria tells Kay about Verity applying for the job. Kay doesn't think it's a big deal, but Maria calls her the school freak. She describes Verity as smart but socially off, and mentions a rumor involving Verity and a teacher that was escalated by another girl, Natalie Kane. Maria finds it odd that Verity wants to work with her when she was always so good with computers. The next day, Verity shows up at Bete for an interview and is hired immediately. Maria questions Gabe, who says Verity is overqualified. Maria doubts her credentials and mentions Verity being weird at school. Gabe agrees to look into it. That night, Maria updates Kay. He asks if she has a problem with Verity, and though Maria denies it, her expression says otherwise. On Wednesday, Gabe joins Maria in the elevator and tells her he looked into Verity's background, everything checked out. He adds that Verity will be shadowing Maria to learn the ropes. In the office, Verity hands out flapjacks to everyone, and they're impressed. Maria introduces her to the doubloon, her new mallow concept, and asks Verity to list the ingredients for the test kitchen. As Maria begins dictating them, chaos erupts in the kitchen. Louisa's almond milk is missing again. Distracted, Maria forgets to mention carrageenan, an essential ingredient, since Bete doesn't consume meat. She decides to email Verity the rest. While composing the email, the team chats about their favorite fast food chicken spots. Nick mentions Bernie's, but Maria insists it's called Barney's because Kay worked there and still wears the cap. Everyone disagrees and looks it up. Maria turns out to be wrong. At home, she checks the cap herself. It now says Bernie's. She confronts Kay, who says it's always been Bernie's. Maria is unsettled and shifts to complaining about Verity winning everyone over. Kay defends Verity, sparking an argument between them. Later, Maria scrolls through old school photos and spots Verity lurking in the background. She pauses over a girl labeled Natalie Kane and finds her contact info. They haven't messaged in 4 years, but Maria texts her, asking to catch up. On Thursday, Mr. Bete visits the office. Gabe introduces Maria as the creator of the chili flake Bete Noire. Mr. Bete tries the miso hucklebuck and loves it, then samples Maria's doubloon and is impressed again. Maria explains it's made with carrageenan, a plant-based gel from seaweed. But Yudi looks uneasy. After Mr. Bete leaves, Yudi reveals the mallows were made with beef gelatine. Gabe panics. Bete is Hindu and just ate beef. Maria insists she specified carrageenan. Yudi says Verity's ingredient list didn't include it. In Gabe's office, Maria recounts that she emailed Verity carrageenan and non-pork gelatine. Verity denies ever seeing it. Maria insists she's not yelling, but Gabe thinks she is and asks to see the email. When he checks, the email only mentions non-pork gelatine. Maria is stunned. It's not what she typed. Gabe tells her to apologize. She does, reluctantly. Outside, Maria tries to defend herself again. Gabe says she seems to have personal issues with Verity and suggests taking time off. At home, Maria tells Kay the email was altered, but Kay insists it was likely just a mistake. Maria's phone buzzes with a reply from Natalie, only it's actually her husband. He informs her that Natalie died just a few days ago. Shocked, Maria calls him, and he explains Natalie took her own life. He says she'd become paranoid and irrational in the weeks before her death. Maria, disturbed, keeps pressing him about whether Natalie had been in contact with Verity Green. Her boyfriend urges her to stop, but she keeps going until Natalie's husband ends the call. On Friday, Maria arrives at an empty office. Verity soon appears and asks why Maria isn't at the team meeting downstairs. Maria says she didn't get the email. Verity asks if Maria has a problem with her and brings up school. Maria says they never knew each other, but Verity insists people used to talk about her and a teacher. She claims the teacher was kind to her, but after he was transferred, everything went downhill. Maria apologizes for her past hardships. Then, Verity walks to the fridge, takes Luisa's almond milk, makes eye contact with Maria, drinks the whole thing, and drops it on the floor before walking away. The team returns from the meeting, and Gabe asks Maria why she didn't attend. She says the invite must have gone to spam. Luisa storms in, furious about her missing almond milk. Verity shrugs and glances at Maria. Maria points at Verity, accusing her directly. Verity acts hurt and says Maria intimidates her and that she's the one who drank it. Maria protests, saying she's allergic to nuts, so it's impossible. Gabe suggests checking the security footage. As the footage plays, Verity clutches her necklace and insists it was Maria. On screen, the video shows Maria taking the milk from Verity and drinking it. Maria's stunned. It couldn't be real. She repeats that she has a nut allergy, but Verity smiles, holding her necklace again, and says there's no such thing. Gabe, confused, asks, "What's a nut allergy?" Maria tries to explain, but no one understands. She searches it online, but all she gets is, "Not allegory?" Horrified, Maria realizes Verity's pendant is manipulating reality. She lunges for it, but Gabe restrains her. Verity winks at Maria, sending her spiraling. Gabe fires Maria. Outside the office, everyone gathers around a sobbing Verity. Maria waits in her car and tails Verity when she drives off. Verity enters a gated estate. Maria sneaks in on foot and breaks in while Verity blasts music upstairs. She discovers a room filled with massive servers. Upstairs, Verity's room is covered in surreal photos. Her on Vogue with Harry Styles as an astronaut. She finds the pendant charging, but it rejects her fingerprint. As Verity exits the bathroom, Maria dives under the bed to hide. Verity sits on the bed, drying herself, while Maria quietly tries to activate the pendant. It buzzes and makes a noise, drawing Verity's attention. Calmly, Verity tells her to come out. Maria does, holding the pendant and saying she knows it can somehow alter reality. Verity confirms it's a remote that connects to the quantum compiler downstairs. That's what actually shifts things. She casually tells Maria the pendant she's holding is just one of many. It doesn't technically change reality, she explains, but retunes the corporeal frequency to a parallel timeline, one where whatever she says into the remote has always been true. In a universe of infinite realities, she simply picks the one she prefers. And in the one they're in now, Maria is the only one who knows the truth. Maria asks how any of this is possible. Verity says she built it herself. To prove it, she changes the color of Maria's top, makes her speak fluent Chinese, teleports them both to the office, then undoes everything. Maria is overwhelmed, and Verity says she doesn't care. She just wants Maria to suffer. Maria asks why. Verity tells her it's because she was the one who started the rumor. Natalie told her that just before she jumped. Maria admits she did, but says she doesn't know why. She insists it wasn't her fault that Natalie spread it further, or that everyone believed it. Verity says she was isolated and bullied for years, and that it took her 5 weeks to mentally break Natalie. Maria, she notes, only lasted 5 days. Then, Verity asks Maria how she plans to end her life. Maria, panicked, lunges at her and they struggle. Verity quickly grabs the pendant and says that armed police are there and that Maria has a knife. Suddenly, armed police appear and Maria is now holding a knife. Terrified, she drops it and clutches her head. But in a desperate move, she spins, grabs the officer's gun, and shoots Verity in the head. Verity falls. Maria hides behind the bed, trembling, then crawls over and grabs the pendant from her dead hand. She whispers, "The pendant works for me," taking control. Into it, she says Verity shot herself and the police witnessed it. Their demeanor instantly changes. Maria then says they serve her now and that she's the Empress of the universe. Reality warps. In seconds, she's standing in a grand chamber, surrounded by worshippers, all bowing, chanting her name in unison. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. See you in the next one.